Today we're going to make our very own resin beads with these really cute molds, and then I'll show you how to assemble them into some dangle earrings. What I have here is some leftover resin I used on another project, and I decided since I didn't have that much resin left, these would be the perfect molds to use up the rest of the resin so I'm not wasting it. So when you have a really open mold like this, you can pour it in and use your popsicle stick, but I'll show you later why I have to use a dropper on some of these other ones. They're really little. So you just very gently pour it in. It's very easy to overfill them. And then you'll smooth out the top. For this, I have a blue-green mica powder put into some resin, some epoxy resin, and we'll let this set overnight. I also put a little bit of white glitter in it and mixed it up. And see how I'm just kind of smoothing it over so you can see the very top of that middle part. That's what's going to make the hole for our bead. See this dropper? This is amazing for any type of small mold. I use it in my stud earring molds, and I'm also going to use it for this because if you can tell from the video along the edges in there, that's actually making a flat round bead. So you have to get in there to make sure there's no air bubbles in there, and to make sure if you just try to pour it in there, it's just going to pour all over the top because it doesn't want to funnel down in that little hole. So this is so much easier. I've tried several different ways, including toothpicks. It just doesn't work out. This is the best way. If you want to know where those droppers are, I'll put them in a link in my description. So that was me showing you what it looks like once you pour them. You leave them overnight, and this is the next day. And you see how I'm doing this. I didn't speed this up at all. It's exactly the speed I took it out at. And you want to be very gentle because you don't want to tear that middle part of your mold that makes the hole. These turned out really pretty. They have a nice glitter to them because we added the white glitter into it. You could have so many different beads that you make your own with different colors and add-ins. It would be I would love to see all the different designs that we could make, and I'm excited to try a lot more different beads. So you can see all of these are different sizes slightly, and that's going to make a really pretty dangle when we mix and match these later. So when you get these out, you might want to sand them. When you sand resin, always sand it in water. You don't want to breathe it in, which you should already be using gloves and a respirator, which is really good to use when you're using resin. Look how pretty this bead is. I love the edges of it. So this is what they look like out of the mold. And I also saved the little resin pieces that were laying on top of the mold because I got an idea to use for those later. So that's what that little pile is. That was the little pieces on top. So you can find these little kits on Amazon. I'll link everything I use in the description at the end. But this has a little flat end. And then I use my rounded pliers, and you make a loop at the top of your wire. And that is what's going to be your connector piece that you can attach your jump ring to. You just very gently work it to where it goes back into the hole. And then you have a nice little loop there, and try to make them as even as possible. And then you'll take your jump ring and add it on there. And I've already done the other bead. So you just connect the two beads together, and you use the other pliers and you connect them both together. And then, sorry if you hear my kids in the background. I could try this 5 times and still get a kid in the background because it's summer. So I'm sorry if you hear my kids talking. Then you put a jump ring on top with the earring hook. And then it's much easier to use 2 different pliers to close the jump rings together. And then once that is done, your earring is complete. And then you can just add them to your display cards. And I think they turned out really pretty. Just imagine all the beautiful earrings you could make, the different colors. What if you added like gold flakes in it, the gold flake foil? Just so many different opportunities that you could have. Look how pretty these turned out. And I'll show you the finished product once we get them on our display cards. I love how you can mix and match all the different beads. I'll also put the molds in the description for these beads. You can add them to your other resin projects. There's so many things you could do with them. This is just an old container I had that had the keychain rings in it, and I was like, this will be perfect to start saving these little pieces because I have a great idea for these. So instead of throwing these away like I typically would, I'm just going to keep these because I got an idea. So this, you can get this little pack on Amazon for really cheap. They're just clear backs. I like to use those better than the metal. I think they stay on better and they're less irritating to your ear. Then you can also get a big pack of the display cards on Amazon as well. So you just add that to your display card. These are what I use for my dangle earrings because I feel like they work best for that purpose. And then I just add the clear backs on it. And then once you get your price tag on it, it's ready to sell. They turned out really pretty. And then I'm going to show you what it looks like. See, some of them have 3 beads and some of them have 2 beads. So this is the one. So the 3 beads kind of slightly go over the display card, but the 2 beads stay on it. So it's really your preference of how big you want to make the dangle. Look how pretty. I might keep a pair of these for myself. This is what they look like all done. If you like this video, please like and subscribe. I have a ton more resin videos on my channel, and I hope that you have a blessed day.